This is CK with CK Brick Collection, and welcome to my channel. We are building walls, and the store is finally coming together as I'm moving into this new house. And the garage is really going to be this comfortable, creative space and an office space at the same time, which will be housing my Lego business. And whether you do Bricklink and Lego e-commerce like I do or not, hopefully this video will be helpful to you. If you want to build some walls, you might get some ideas from us. And yeah, if you have any questions as far as the materials that we used and tools that we used, you could ask in the comments below. First of all, a great big thanks to my neighbor James. He's helped us out in so many different ways, and a really truly great family friend. He brought his table saw, which was essential for these walls. And as far as the construction of these walls, well, that first wall we used 2x4s. I want to say it was on center 16 inches. You could go 10 inches, 12 inches, 16 inches if you wish. Usually that's how standard walls are built, and it varies from house to house. And for the second wall, we used 1x3s, and the walls are reinforced by being assembled to each other, and that's kind of another reason why we went with this U-shaped idea for the store. And as you notice, the air conditioning guys are there. That was the first day they were there. I'm so grateful that I didn't have to do that myself, because it's quite some work installing the bracket, drilling the hole, and making sure you bring in the electrician with the correct power outlet. And actually the unit was malfunctioning and they had to come back a couple of times. So I'm really grateful I didn't have to deal with that. Instead, my energy was saved for these walls, and this third wall took quite some effort. And the reason why is I want to integrate drawers into this third wall. So it's kind of like a shelf within a wall, and we had to come up with this design, this lattice system, and you'll see it come together. But yeah, if you notice, that second wall is about 2 feet off the garage. That's kind of the staging area, so for when I do go to shows and I prepare my totes and my merch, I get to kind of stage it there with the garage door closed, and just open the garage door the following day or whenever I'm ready to load up, and just load up directly into the vehicle. This third wall, as you can see, is I want to say it's about 16 inches width. And yeah, we had to anchor bolt it down. Actually, it was kind of my idea. James was saying that the walls would be pretty sturdy without any anchoring needed, but I just want that extra step. And so we pre-drilled, and we use these anchor bolts, which as you bolt it down, it expands, and it really makes for a great connection and anchoring process. We also used Tapcon screws for that first wall, but it just isn't the greatest thing. It's not like we've built hundreds of walls, but still, as far as the ease of using anchor bolts versus Tapcon screws, anchor bolts are definitely my favorite. We use a 1/2 inch plywood to solidify the end of this third wall, and plywood is just awesome. In this case, I didn't want to use drywall because plywood has structural integrity and drywall really doesn't, and I want to be able to use that to my advantage. That's why we didn't really use any bracing within the walls, because the plywood would serve us structurally and really solidifying the wall and getting the studs and the plywood screwed together. That actually took quite some time, but yeah, I enjoyed this process quite a bit, because now it's really starting to look like a wall that's not going to go anywhere, as 2 of the walls are actually anchored. I decided also to make shelf space on top of one of the walls. I had to make sure that the garage door didn't bump into any of my items placed on top. So I placed a bracket on top of the wall to make sure the garage isn't in the way, or my items aren't in the way. This back side of the store is going to be used mostly for eBay. I don't want to say storage, because as much as possible I want to Mary Kondo this place and have storage as high as possible and off the ground, even the totes and the heavy stuff for festivals. Temporarily you will see me bring in some totes, but it's just temporary. You see me assembling this shelf system. I think it's quite convenient, because I could just buy a couple of more as my eBay store expands, which I'm intending on using this entire back side of the store for eBay. And there will also be a table there, as you'll see in the future, for photography and taking pictures of items, and especially eBay items. Yeah, here I'm continuing to install more plywood, and actually we came back to this third wall. As you can see, we're making sure if these drawers fit or not, and they actually were falling through. The measurement was off. We had to come back and add more strips of wood. It was an easy fix, and I screwed on some screws just to serve as a stopper. That way, as I place the drawer, it stops, it doesn't go further, and it doesn't fall through, and it just fits flush with the front boards. And that's what I want, but it was quite some work to modify, and that's why you see us working on quite a bit. This third wall did take quite some time, but it was satisfying seeing that we designed it, and it's really serving its purpose. And I don't have that many new drawers yet. I mostly used to use these cheap shoe boxes, which I will just place them within this wall as I buy more of those new drawers, which I really like, as it doesn't take as much effort to open, and it's just clear, just better. That's pretty much this video, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and if you do enjoy this kind of content, well, there's more news to come to the store. Make sure to sub, and I will see you in the next video.